The Parthenon is the large temple dedicated to Athena, built in the middle of the 5th century BCE in Athens. One of its unique architectural features was a running frieze that showed a celebration in which the citizens of Athens expressed their dedication to their patron goddess. This frieze has had a very prominent role in the history of art over several centuries. When I started working at Herron, it was in the old original buildings, and when I was teaching Art History 101, I would march the students down the hall and we would look at them. When Herron moved to Eskenazi Hall in 2005, I was sorry to leave those behind because I knew they were an important piece of the history of art as well as the history of Herron.
The Parthenon sculptures became incredibly important in the 19th century. They became models of what perfect beauty was for this culture kind of steeped in neoclassicism. So any art school worth its salt would have wanted to make sure that they had casts of these things. And Herron, the old building, would use these to train their artists in drawing. So they would be used instead of life classes. But over the course of the 20th century, life classes became the standard, and people stopped using plaster casts. And the significance of all of this is that all these art schools then disposed of their plaster casts, so it's actually hard to find full sets of these casts, and it's really nice that Herron still has them.
We met Benjamin Sunderland, who was a sculpture major at Herron. He had the expertise and knowledge of how to make a new cast. The three of us put our heads and energy together to create replicas from the existing molds.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the Parthenon project move forward. I'm extremely curious to see how the undergraduates interpret these casts and paint them for a 21st century audience. And I think this is a great springboard for what we're going to see happening between the IUPUI Arts and Humanities Institute and schools like the Herron School of Art and Design into the future.
As an art historian at Herron, my teaching is geared toward Herron students primarily, but my research is also closely aligned with my colleagues in the history department at IUPUI. And our objective is to share the story of this tangible piece of history of the arts in America and in Indianapolis. It was a long process from first developing this idea to bringing it to completion, but now we're at the point where the casts are pulled from the molds and being touched up and nearly finished. Very soon we will see them installed in the offices of the IUPUI Arts and Humanities Institute, and hopefully in my office here at Herron as well.